You're listening to The Blind Chick, an AfterSight original podcast. We're telling you stories about strength, overcoming hurdles, and living experiences. We see who you really are. Blindness can be an adventure. Are you ready for the journey of a lifetime? We are. Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for listening to part 3 of Denise Leigh and Penn and Moses and their conversation. It has been an amazing 2024. And now we're in 2025. It's so incredible. Thank you so much for making Blind Chick what it is today. And I hope that with your help and support that we can keep moving forward and keep having amazing guests and amazing shows. All right, we're going to jump into part 3. Penn and Moses, take it away.
Well, Denise, we've talked a lot about with the Blind Chick, like what is the sort of the secret sauce for, because it is hard. I think, you know, if you're blind, it just adds another layer of difficulty no matter what happens. But I'm always wondering, like, what is the secret sauce for people like you? And I consider myself having the secret sauce as well. And I have my view, but what do you think is the secret sauce of why some people who are blind thrive and in whatever it is, their career, education, whatever it is, while others tend to sit on the couch and be couch potatoes?
I think it's very much about a mindset, and I decided that I wasn't going to wait about hoping that they were going to find a cure for this condition that I have. And that's really helped us with Dimitri's diagnosis as well, because, you know, we could and we do strive to fundraise, you know, for CRB1. We've got a team of families whose children have the same damaged gene, and we're raising money at the moment to grow these little mini retinas at Moorfields in London. However, it's really important that Dimmy knows that he is enough. Whether he can see or not, he's enough. He doesn't have to try to be sighted. He doesn't have to hope to be sighted, because he's enough. And I've always felt like I'm enough, you know, whether I can see or not. Not being able to see isn't actually that interesting, because I just deal with it. And I'm not going to say it doesn't hinder me. I'd love to be able to drive, for example. And the last bit of sight that I've lost through chemotherapy has really impacted on me, because I can now no longer read musical scores under a reading aid. So I'm having to learn a new way of learning music. But it's not interesting. It isn't something that defines me, and I won't let it define me.
Right.
So, but I'm not dissing anybody who kind of builds their life around being blind. That it's all a personal choice.
Right.
But for me, I'm a musician who is blind. I'm not a blind musician.
How do you define yourself then?
I'm a mom. I'm a woman of a certain age. I'm a cancer survivor.
I'm that certain age too.
I'm a survivor, and in the words of Beyonce, and I'm so many other things before I'm blind. And you know, I am blind, and it's something that is undeniable, and I'm not in denial about it. But it's not the most important thing to me at all.
Right. What would you say is the number one thing that's the most important? Oh,
it's the best job I've ever done.
You're make me cry now.
It's the best and most important thing I've ever done. You know?
I agree.
Wow. Well, this is, how can the audience find out more about you?
We're on all, we've not got grips with TikTok. We have a love-hate relationship with TikTok. There's a lot of we're on Instagram. We're learning to love Instagram, and also my kids who are Gen Zers, they understand what Instagram's for, even if I don't. Facebook, we've got a very active Facebook community. Facebook pages. There's one that's called Denise and Stefan, because earlier this year we did a really interesting thing, which is Britain's Got Talent.
Yes.
Which is the big international franchise that is run by Simon Cowell.
Yes.
And they approached us about a year ago, actually, and they asked me a few times if I'd get involved, because I did a reality TV programme in 2003 called Operatunity, which was run between Channel 4 and English National Opera. And it was to find an amateur opera singer who could be put through the rigorous training of preparing for an opera. And my prize, and there were hundreds of us that went in for it, and I was one of two winners. There were two women that won, myself and another soprano called Jane Gilchrist. And we shared the role of Gilda in Verdi's Rigoletto. And she sang the first half, which is the girly half who gets wooed by the tenor. And I played the second half, who gets assaulted, kidnapped and killed ultimately, who offers herself up as a sacrifice. And I've been so stuck in that cycle. I've always been lying down at the end of everything that I'm in. I'm always lying down, singing, lying flat on my back. Absolutely. It was the most amazing thing I've ever been part of. We realised it was something very, very special when we were making it, because reality TV was quite new then. And to be honest, it wasn't reality TV in the sense that BGT is. It was very much a fly on the wall documentary. So it followed us through the auditioning process. And then when we won, it followed us through the preparation for the opera and balancing the kids with it, because my kids were very young at the time. Becky was just 9 when I did it, and Mike was 7, Sam was 5, and so I'd had a foot in the door with Operatunity, and that had generated every bit of work I'd ever had since. And I'd had some really important work. I sang at the opening ceremony of the London Paralympics.
I've
sung at the Albert Hall. I sang in Beijing when the Olympics were there. I've done some amazing concerts, some amazing work in opera houses all over the place. And I've been booked for more opera. Since singing in Verdi's Rigoletto, I thought, will this just be a flash in the pan? With me being blind, will it be an inhibitant to me finding work in this industry, which is very superficial in a lot of ways? I've been so lucky because it hasn't stopped me. I've done a lot of mainstream work. And there is a very active disability arts community in Britain, and I have dabbled with it, and I've been booked, to work at disability arts festivals. But for as many disability arts festivals I've done, I've worked in an integrated mainstream part of the industry as well, which is really important, because everybody that I come into contact with, every director I work with, I'm always the first blind person they've worked with. And they're usually, without fail, terrified. Because they just don't know. They don't want to get it wrong.
Right.
And they say, what can we do? How can we make sure you're safe? And so it's a learning process between us all. I'll say to them, let's use variable floor coverings so I know where I am on the stage at all times. I'm picking up a lot of signals when I'm on the stage because I'm using echolocation as well. Because I'm singing and I can hear the sound bouncing back off props and off other people. And most crucially off the edge of the stage, so I always know where that is. And so, you know, I will be able to tell them how I'm hearing things and how I'm manoeuvring around the stage.
Right.
It wouldn't have occurred to them that that's how a blind person gets around.
Right.
And you know, I've had so many. I've had one or two people say to me after a working experience with me that, you know, I think it's a compliment, but somebody once said to me, "I'll never be scared of anything again after this," and I think that was a compliment.
Oh. So you have to tell us, what was Simon Cowell actually like then?
Well, I didn't see any more of him than the TV cameras showed. The only time I ever saw him was when he was sitting on the stage. You know, when he was judging me. So yeah, I think, you know, because the audition process for them is so long. And I was only there for one day. We auditioned in Manchester. We were the last act of the day. We'd been kept to last, I think because, well, I don't really know why. Somebody has to be last, I suppose. And so we went on last. We were the last in the green room, and we thought, God, this is never going to happen. And my sons had arrived because they live in Manchester, and I auditioned at Salford. And they were there, and suddenly it went from us just sitting around waiting. We were there from like 7:30 in the morning, and it was nearly 7:30 at night. And suddenly they said, "Right, you're on." And that was it. The boys just leapt off. They leapt into the auditorium, and they were given seats. They were mic'd up. And Dimitri stayed in the wings with Tilly, my guide dog, and Anton Deck, who host the show over here. And, you know, that was lovely. I was able to, because my daughter, they're from Newcastle upon Tyne, very, very famous Geordies. And my daughter lives in Newcastle upon Tyne. So I was able to say, "Oh, my daughter lives in Newcastle. Do you know her?" Which, of course, I didn't say that, but it would be a very British thing to say. And you know, they put me at ease, and they relaxed us both. And I never know which one's which. The taller one walked on with Steph, and the littler one walked on with me. And hang on, let me think about this. It was Ant that walked on with Stefan, and I'm turning them into my boobs now. Ant is Thelma. Deck is Louise. So, right, okay, I walked on with Deck, and Steph walked on with Ant. And they were absolutely brilliant. It was like they'd been doing sighted guidance for forever, and they didn't make a fuss.
Wow.
Nobody made a huge fuss around the fact that we couldn't see. We were free to move about the stage. Somebody said to me, "Look, what we do for Andrea Bocelli is we put this piece of wood in front of the mic so he knows where it is. He can find it with his feet, so we'll do that with you." And that was so helpful. I didn't have to make any suggestions. They came up with all these fabulous ideas. And they said, "Look, we've discovered that you have quite a big voice, so we're going to give you an opera mic. It will be miles away. So it won't be anywhere near you. But don't worry, just let rip." And and we went onto the stage and just talked to the judges, like, because you've seen them on telly so much, you feel like you know them. And it was very relaxed. They were quite relaxed because it was the end of the day for them. And and we were quite happy because suddenly we were out on stage, and we'd been waiting for such a long time. And they asked us to sing, and there was a full auditorium. It's a big theatre, the theatre at Salford. And the minute I started to sing, the audience did that thing that classical audiences never do. They all went, "Woo!" and started to cheer. And I thought, "Oh, what happened? What's they like us?"
What's
and
going
then I
on?
forgot the second line of "Climb Every Mountain" because I was singing "Climb Every Mountain" from Sound of Music. I forgot the second line. Then I thought, "Oh, I've forgotten the line. It has to rhyme." And so I just ploughed on, and they edited it. It all happened in post-production. They made it look like I knew what I was doing. I didn't. And it was the entire audience leapt to their feet in a standing ovation afterwards. And somebody told us that everybody was on their feet. And I think you can gather as well that, you know, that the audience are enjoying it. They were completely swept along with us. And the judges were lovely. They were just so, we didn't feel nervous or patronised or...
Oh, God.
And then Simon Cowell did that thing that he often does. And he said, have you got another piece? And my face must have gone, why? What was wrong with the first piece? And he went, oh, no, it's not like that. He says, we've just got a bit of spare time. And I know you'll have prepared 2 pieces. And for the first piece, we'd used Stefan on piano, because he's an amazing pianist and accordionist, but Simon Cowell.
Yes, I've heard him.
Simon Cowell hates
Amazing,
accordions, so we didn't use the accordion. We used, and they have the most beautiful piano at the Lowry. And so why wouldn't you play it, you know? And Steph had made this gorgeous backing track because it's a big theatre. And then Simon said to us, I think we'll just have this acoustically. He said, I think we'll just have it, you and Stefan, just to get a feel for how you sound without the backing tracks.
Nice.
And I literally could have kissed him. I could have hugged him because it was so relaxed, and it was just the perfect end to quite a stressful day. You know, there's a lot of filming goes on.
Yeah.
There's a lot of interviews. There's a lot of walking in and out of the theatre and being filmed a lot of times with a really unruly guide dog as well, because Tilly's such a show off. And and so we did Schubert's Ave Maria, and Bruno Toglioni was in pieces. He was sobbing. And it was the perfect end to the day, and the audience were, you know, just as rapturous after. And then I saw, when I watched it on the telly, because that was done in the February, and it actually went out in the May the 12th, it went out on a Sunday night. And they'd filmed my sons, Sam and Michael, and they were both shouting and crying and so proud. And that really, it got me, you know, when Mike jumped up and he just shouted, yeah, go Mum. And that gets me every time if I watch the YouTube clip of Climb Every Mountain, because it was,
oh my goodness,
but yeah, it just
Denise,
gets me.
Oh my gosh,
you want to know you've done a good job, don't you? And when your kids think you've done well, you must have done well, because they are my biggest critics, but also my biggest fans.
Exactly. Absolutely. Well, Denise, this has been an absolute lovely, most beautiful interview.
Oh, thank you.
Yes.
Moses and I are both really choked up right now. For
I love
so
making grown-ups
so
cry.
many reasons. Your story is incredible and beautiful, and
it's just, do you know what? I've been very, very lucky in as much that a lot of the time I've just been in the right place at the right time. And I've always had good instincts, and I've you know, sometimes I've been asked to do things and I've thought, no, that isn't the right time to do this. It's too big for me at the moment. Yeah. I was asked to sing Fiordiligi with English touring opera, and she's a huge dramatic soprano role, and I thought, no, I'm not ready for it yet, and it was the hardest thing to say no to, but it was the right thing to do. Yeah. And so I've been lucky, and I've had good instincts, so I'm really grateful for, you know, whoever's been looking after me, or whoever I inherited those instincts from.
Yeah. Well, in
stop crying, girl.
May, Moses and I are going to be on your side of the pond.
Are you?
So maybe we can, yes, and we will definitely
let's meet up.
Reach out, because that would just
that would be lovely. Where are you going to?
Yeah, that would be really cool.
Yeah. So let's make this happen.
Yeah, that would be great.
And Denise, thank you. thank you for being so open and honest and raw today.
Thank you.
I'm sure
And
the audience out there is going to hear it as well.
thank you for inviting me.
Because it is hard to share your story, and
It is.
we want to thank you so
yeah,
much.
it is. But
Yeah.
you know, in another way, it's really cathartic as well. It's nice to be able to spend 2 hours talking about myself, because usually people would say, "Stop talking about yourself, you massive narcissist."
No, I think you shared plenty about your parents and your kids and and your husband.
I am surrounded by fabulous people. I've got the best kids in the world.
Yeah.
Dimmy's a bit of a pain sometimes, but he will be great one day. and Steph is just so. He's great. As long as he remembers that I'm funnier than he is, we're fine.
Moses and I have that agreement too, right?
Right.
And I always acknowledge that Steph has the tougher job, because he's my accompanist, and you know, he has a lot more learning to do than I do, really, because he's got 10 fingers that he plays with, and he's amazing. He's just a tremendous musician, and
I've heard him, and
he's tremendous.
It's so beautiful.
You know, he's so appreciated, but also, you know, it's only human.
Yes, exactly.
And to me, it's really neat because, you know, America's so celebrity driven, and it's just a really wonderful reminder that the person you see on stage that is making your life, you know, and you are loving, that person has a real life like everybody else does.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so that's...
Absolutely.
You're right. And it's really important to remain grounded. And you know, I don't think of us as being celebrities, though, you know, even though people do recognise us and stop us in the street and tell us, you know, what a difference the work we've done has made to them. And it's always lovely to hear that.
Yes.
However, you know, we're going home to pick our son up from school and to give him his tea. There's nothing like children to keep you grounded.
Exactly.
When I won Opportunity, I want to tell you this, because Sam, I've never let Sam live this down. Sam was 4 when I won Opportunity, and he was such a cheeky 4-year-old. And my mum and dad, because we weren't allowed to tell anybody that I'd won, because it was filmed in the July of 2002. But I then had to work on the opera until March the 1st, which was when I sang Gilda at the Coliseum. So that's a long time to sit on a secret. And my mum and dad knew that I'd won, and they went to pick Sam up from his other grandmas, and they said, "Sam, we've got some news for you, but you can't tell anybody. Mummy won Opportunity." And he went, "Oh, did she cheat?"
Oh no.
So that's the faith my kids have in me. But thank you for inviting me. It's been so lovely. When the email came in, I went straight online and listened to your back catalogue, and I just love the vibe you've got going. It's so gentle and lovely, and I said to Stefan, I've got to do it. I want to do this.
Oh, thank you. That means so much. So much. I'm going to cry again. Okay.
Right, go and stop crying.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I think it's the season too. This time of year always gets me.
Look,
Denise, thank you for continuing. We need more people like you in this world that continue to raise the bar on what the possibilities are for kiddos out there that are blind, and they don't have to sit on the couch. Their dreams can come true. Yeah. And all of the sighted people out there, all the teachers and the mentors and the heroes, we need to make sure that those kids know that what the possibilities are and support them in those dreams, because we can do anything. Yeah. We can do
Absolutely.
anything.
And it's really important
people like Denise
to be visible doing those things. And listen, at some point in the future, if you want to talk to Stefan, he's an interesting person to speak to, because he works as a visually impaired role model. So he's teaching visually impaired children how, and their parents, he's advocating with their parents as well. So newly diagnosed children, he's going to their parents and saying, look, your kids will be catching the bus into school, and they will be getting on the train, and they will get jobs when they leave school, and this is how. And so that's such an important thing to do.
And again, thank you, Denise. Thank you, Aftersight. This program absolutely could not be happening without them and all of the heroes that are behind the scenes. Moses and I get to do the fun part. They're the true work out there. And if you would like to support Aftersight and support programs like the Blind Chick, go to aftersight.org. Check us out. Hit the donate button. A lot of you give this time of year, that end of year giving. Remember places like Aftersight. We really, really, really appreciate it. So. Sorry, I am emotional today. I don't know what's wrong with me. And remember to follow the show. If you like The Blind Chick, and judging by the numbers, there's a lot of you out there, like the show, share it with your friends and family. And most importantly, be kind to yourself this week and find a way to be kind to somebody else. It's good for your soul.